The great archive of the Varaxian Empire stretched across 3 moons. It held the knowledge of 10,000 civilizations, some dead, some sleeping, some too dangerous to wake. Highkeeper Toreth walked through the endless halls of data crystals, his 6 eyes scanning the ancient records that glowed with soft blue light. He had served the archive for 300 years. He had never been afraid of knowledge until today. The young commander stood before him. Her name was Seleth, and she commanded the 7th Expansion Fleet. She was ambitious. She was hungry for glory. And she wanted permission to harvest a small planet in a forgotten corner of the galaxy. The planet was called Earth by its natives. Toreth felt his stomach turn cold. He pulled up the oldest records in the entire archive. Files so ancient that nobody knew who had written them. Files that predated the Varaxian Empire by millions of years. Every single one of them said the same thing in different languages, different scripts, different formats. Leave Earth alone. Do not contact the humans. Do not threaten the humans. Do not land on their world. Stay away. Stay far away. If they come to you, run. Seleth laughed when she read the warnings. She was young. She had conquered 12 worlds. She had never lost a battle. The records were old and written by species that no longer existed. What could they possibly know that the mighty Varaxian Empire did not? Toreth tried to explain. The warnings came from the Builders, the first civilization to ever achieve space travel. The Builders had mapped the entire galaxy. They had created the jump gates that every species still use today. They had technology so advanced that modern scientists could not understand it. And the Builders had written one warning about Earth and then never returned to that sector of space again. They eventually disappeared from the galaxy. Nobody knew why. The Zirathi Dominion had ignored the warnings 2 million years ago. They sent a fleet of 1,000 warships to Earth. Not a single ship returned. Not a single signal was ever received. The Zirathi searched for their fleet for 10,000 years before they gave up. They added their own warning to the archive and then collapsed as an empire 50,000 years later. The Morthian Collective tried a different approach. They sent a peaceful delegation. Scientists, diplomats, artists. They wanted to study the humans. They wanted to understand why everyone was so afraid. The delegation landed on Earth during what the humans called their Bronze Age. The humans had not even invented proper metallurgy yet. They fought with sharp sticks and crude copper weapons. The Morthian delegation was never heard from again. The Collective sent a rescue team. They found the wreckage of the first delegation scattered across a primitive human settlement. The humans had killed them all with rocks and pointed sticks. The rescue team tried to leave. They did not make it back to their ship. The Collective added their warning to the archive. They drew detailed illustrations of what the humans looked like. Small, soft, no natural weapons, no claws, no venom, no armored skin. They should have been prey animals. They should have been harmless. The Collective scientist who wrote the final report used one phrase that Toreth had never forgotten. He called humans the apex predators of their world. He called them the most dangerous species he had ever encountered. He wrote that the humans did not fight like other species. They did not fight to win. They fought to destroy. They fought with a fury that had no logic. They fought like they had nothing to lose and everything to prove. Toreth shared all of this with Seleth. He showed her the records. He showed her the warnings. He showed her the estimated death tolls from every failed contact attempt. The numbers were staggering. Millions of soldiers from dozens of species had approached Earth over the eons. None had returned. Seleth smiled. She said the old empires were weak. She said they lacked proper technology. She said the Varaxian Empire had weapons that could crack planets. She said the humans were still primitive. Her scouts had observed them from deep space. They had only recently discovered nuclear energy. They had only been in space for less than 100 years. They had not even left their own solar system yet. How dangerous could they possibly be? Toreth begged her to reconsider. He got down on his knees, something a High Keeper had never done before. He told her that the warnings existed for a reason. He told her that every species that had ignored them had been destroyed. He told her that the builders themselves had feared the humans, and the builders had feared nothing. Seleth kicked him aside. She took her fleet of 500 warships and jumped to the edge of the human solar system. She sent a message to the human government. She told them to surrender their planet. She told them they would become slaves of the Varaxian Empire. She told them resistance was useless. The humans sent back a single message. It contained one word that the translation systems could not fully process. The closest meaning was a crude invitation to perform an anatomically impossible act. Seleth was furious. She had never been insulted by a primitive species before. She ordered her fleet to advance. The first wave of Varaxian ships reached the fourth planet of the human system. The humans called it Mars. There was a small colony there, a few thousand scientists, some mining operations, nothing that should have posed a threat. Seleth ordered her captains to destroy the colony as a warning. Her captains died before they could fire a single shot. The humans had weapons hidden in the asteroid belt. Weapons they had built in secret. Weapons designed for a war they had always known was coming. The asteroids themselves were weapons. The humans had hollowed them out and filled them with nuclear devices. They crashed into the Varaxian ships at near light speed. 100 warships vanished in the first second of the battle. Seleth screamed orders at her remaining captains. She told them to spread out. She told them to use their superior numbers. She told them to overwhelm the human defenses. Her captains tried to obey. They flew their ships toward Earth. They got as far as the fifth planet. The humans called it Jupiter. The humans had been preparing for this moment for generations. They had known since they first looked at the stars that something was out there. They had found the ruins of the Morthian delegation in their ancient history. They had studied the alien technology. They had reverse engineered it. They had improved it. They had built weapons that the galaxy had never seen before. Jupiter's moons opened fire, not with missiles, not with energy beams. The humans used gravity. They had learned to bend space itself. They created artificial black holes and launched them at the Varaxian fleet. Ships were crushed into points of light. Captains did not even have time to scream before they ceased to exist. Seleth watched 300 of her ships die in less than 10 minutes. She ordered a retreat. The navigation officers tried to activate the jump drives. Nothing happened. The humans had somehow disabled the jump gates. Every jump gate in the sector went dark at the same moment. The fleet was trapped. The humans came for them then. Their ships were small. Their ships were ugly. Their ships looked like they had been built in a hurry by engineers who did not care about beauty. But their ships were fast. Their ships were agile. Their ships carried weapons that made no sense. The humans fired projectiles that split into millions of smaller projectiles. They fired beams that existed in multiple dimensions at once. They fired missiles that hunted their targets with an intelligence that seemed almost alive. Seleth's flagship was the last to fall. She watched her entire fleet burn around her. She sent a final message to the archive. She said the warnings were true. She said the humans were everything the ancient records claimed and worse. She said they did not fight like civilized species. They fought like animals. They fought like monsters. They fought like something that had evolved in a universe that wanted them dead and had decided to fight back against reality itself. Her message ended with static. The archive received no further communications from the 7th Expansion Fleet. Toreth read the final message. He added it to the records. He updated the warnings. He made sure that every species in the galaxy would know what had happened. He knew it would not matter. Someone would always think they were different. Someone would always believe they were strong enough. Someone would always ignore the oldest records. 3 months later, the humans came to the Varaxian Empire. They did not come to conquer. They did not come to destroy. They came to deliver a message. A single human ship appeared in the capital system. It broadcast on every frequency. The message was simple. The humans said they wanted to be left alone. They said they had no interest in galactic politics. They said they would not start a war, but they would finish any war that was started against them. Then the human ship did something impossible. It showed the Varaxian High Command a recording. The recording showed what the humans had done to every species that had ever attacked Earth. It showed ships burning. It showed armies dying. It showed entire civilizations being erased from existence. The humans had kept records too. They remembered every invasion. They remembered every attack. They had been fighting off alien threats since before they had developed writing. They had been killing invaders since they lived in caves. The recording ended with a simple image: Earth from space. A small blue marble floating in the darkness. The humans called it home. They called it the cradle of humanity. They said they would burn the entire galaxy to protect it. Torath watched the recording with the rest of the High Command. He saw the fear in their eyes. He saw them finally understand what the ancient records had been trying to tell them. The humans were not dangerous because they were strong. They were dangerous because they were survivors. Every disaster that could kill a species had hit Earth at some point. Ice ages, asteroid impacts, supervolcanic eruptions, mass extinctions. And through all of it, the humans had survived. They had adapted. They had grown stronger. The Varaxian Empire added their warning to the archive that day. They made it the largest warning in the entire collection. They wrote it in every language known to exist. They broadcast it across the galaxy on every frequency. The warning said the same thing all the other warnings said. Leave Earth alone. Do not contact the humans. Do not threaten them. Do not go near their world. And for the first time in galactic history, every species listened. The sector of space around Earth became the most peaceful region in the known universe. No wars were fought there. No empires expanded in that direction. Everyone agreed to leave the humans alone. The humans continued to grow. They continued to learn. They eventually left their solar system and explored the galaxy. They were surprisingly friendly when nobody tried to kill them. They traded technology. They shared knowledge. They made alliances. But everyone remembered the warnings. Everyone remembered what happened to those who had ignored them. And deep in the Great Archive, the oldest records continued to glow with their ancient message, a message that had finally been proven true. Earth was not a world to be conquered. Earth was a warning, and the humans were the reason why.